Hello to my beautiful friends out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro. And this is your monthly forecast for October 2025. We've already moved into fall, and October is a cleansing month because we have Mercury being the star of the month and Neptune moving back into Pisces at 29 degrees, along with Saturn at 26 degrees. And there are other planets that are following. Mars is in Scorpio. We have Mars. Mercury is going to start out in Libra, but we have Mars, Neptune, Saturn, and then we have the Sun, and Mercury will also move into Scorpio this month. So there's an emphasis on the water. Okay, water represents reflection. It also represents what you can't see. Okay, it is a portal as well. So with this water energy happening this month, we have this it's a recalibration. Neptune and Saturn moving back into Pisces is the opportunity, and the last one, to make sure that we have brought the things up that we need to let go of. And for some reason, for some of us, we forgot something, and that something needs to be addressed, and that's why they're back to show us the way. Okay, and then we have Pluto in Aquarius stationing direct, and with that direct motion, the retrograde already brought things to the surface. Now that it's at the surface, Pluto is taking action swiftly, quickly. So the cleanup is happening, and some of it is going to be whether you like it or not, okay? But I suggest that you go with the flow, because we still have the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. So this North Node energy, along with the Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, we need to, make sure that we set our boundaries going forward. And because Neptune and Pisces are boundless energies, and sometimes with that energy, you may want to overextend yourself. And with Neptune being here, Neptune wants us to recognize our fear from our intuition. And that's where the fog and the confusion happens with Neptune. Neptune is very spiritual. It wants us to be on our spiritual path and grow spiritually, very compassionate. But we always tend to reference Neptune with the fog and the confusion. However, there is a reason for that, because that is about us being more keen about what we are experiencing, and know that the experience is either fear-based or your intuition speaking to you. Okay, So I don't want to spend too much time on this intro. Let me see, what else was there that I wanted to share with you outside of Pluto and Neptune. Okay, well, oh, all right. We do have the full moon in Aries, and that's happening on the 6th of this month. And, even though the full moon is about releasing, this is an action oriented full moon, and taking charge and being assertive in your persona, period. Okay. There's also Chiron in this action as well, and Chiron is going to highlight where the wounds are. Okay. And with the full moon being in Aries, there's a lot of emotion behind that, because Aries is the first house. And with the first house, it's all about your head and your body, your personality. So somewhere, with this Aries full moon, you are needing to heal a certain part of yourself. And there's, so much healing going on this month with Neptune, Chiron, and Pluto. But for the most part, Pluto is about the collective, okay? But, there's still some personal issues for each of us. So let's talk about the rest in the forecast. So I'll see you there. Hello to my beautiful Capricorn Risings out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro, and this is your monthly forecast for October 2025. Okay, we're going to get right into it. On the 1st of October, Mercury in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. And this is happening in your 10th house of career and your public image, and your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, business partners, legal matters, and open enemies. Okay, so you may feel pulled to advance your professional goals at this time and your public standing, while simultaneously dealing with domestic issues or relationship commitments. The tension here, because it's a square, it can create conflicts in communication, and that's Mercury, okay, around your desire for balance and fairness, and that's the Libra part, in your career. But that clashes with your emotional, family-oriented concerns in relationships that may be the cause of miscommunications or leave you feeling misunderstood. Okay, and this is a square, and it's meant to help you grow, and change how you balance things in life. Okay, so this is happening in your career and your 7th house of relationships. So on the 3rd, we have Mercury in Libra opposing Chiron, the wounded healer. Now, we all have Chiron in our charts somewhere in a sign, but this Chiron is transiting, and it's in the sign of Aries. So wherever Aries is in your house, Chiron is speaking to you from that point. And this is about wounds, okay? And because it's in the sign of Aries, it's, your personality, how you assert yourself, in life. So here, you may feel a strong impulse to fight for your professional position because it's in the 10th house and also your 4th house of family. Your career or public role could become a trigger for deep-seated insecurities from your past family life. Okay, you may feel the pressure to either withdraw, to avoid pain, or to assert your professional views and needs. Now, even if you stir up the pot, okay, you may find a diplomatic way to express the needs of your inner wounded child within your public life, okay? You may find a way to, be stronger and not respond to those triggers. Instead, breathe and let them go. Now, oppositions are also very hard. The squares and the oppositions can cause enough internal pain that, that hurts physically. So just be aware this too shall pass, but try to find the higher road instead of, doing all of the clashiness. Okay, so we're going to move on to the 6th. We have Mercury moving into Scorpio, and this is happening in your 11th house of groups, memberships, your large social circles, your friendship groups as well, and your hopes, wishes are here in the 11th house that could be attained through your social and friendship groups, okay? And this could also include, your work groups as well. So during this transit, you may be interested in uncovering underlying motives and psychological truths. That's the Scorpio energy that likes to get down deep in their observations. So in your friends and groups you belong to, okay, you communicate with a strong sense of purpose. Your thought process is strategic and powerful, giving you the mental acumen to outwit rivals and competitors. Scorpio's intense and secretive nature may cause misunderstandings or passive-aggressive communication with friends or colleagues. So just be aware of that, because Scorpio is secretive and, they hold on to things inside instead of, addressing them head on. And a lot of times when they hold on to this, then it turns into something darker. So just beware, this is a passing transit because Mercury is in Scorpio and it won't be there, for long. All right, so on that same day, the 6th, we have the super full moon in Aries, okay? And this is happening at 8:47 p.m. in your 4th house. Okay, so a lot of the emotions here are heightened, and your feelings about your family and your home are direct and intense, okay? You may have a need for independence within your home and the desire for more personal freedom or a need to assert your role in your family. This is an ideal time to address family issues head on. Aries rules the head, okay? So you may be urged to make moves to becoming more empowered and self-driven in your home environment. So this is about taking charge because Aries is a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs initiate things or take charge of things. And you'll find that Aries or cardinal signs in general are usually like supervisors, managers, people who have their own business, that kind of energy. So they want to be in control, be in charge. Okay, but in this case, this is in the family life. So, either you have someone that you can be in charge of, but in relationships, it's a give and take, unless you've chosen someone who is going to be submissive. Okay, so we're going to move on to, let's see what this, on the 7th, we have Mercury in Scorpio is squaring Pluto in Aquarius. Now this is, this is some intense energy here with Pluto in Aquarius, okay? So this is going to be squaring your 11th house of friendship groups, your memberships to organizations, and your 2nd house of finance, self-worth, your values, your possessions, okay? So here you can expect to experience deep, difficult conversations to arise within your social circles or community about collective issues and resources distribution, okay? Finance, your 2nd house. You may experience power struggles or even manipulations in your discussions with groups or when trying to access shared information if it's related to your shared finances, okay? And a lot of times, with the group memberships, they want a tithe. It could be church as well, or, they want some money from you for participating on a regular basis. Okay, so this transit can bring significant and harsh insights into your personal values and relationship with your finances. Secrets within your social circle are about collective resources may be revealed, forcing you to confront them. And we're looking at Scorpio. So the Scorpio energy tends to, has that hiding effect. But things are coming to the surface because you have this opposition with Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto also is like co-ruler of Scorpio. All right, so on the 13th, we have Venus moving into Libra, and this is happening in your 10th house of careers. You can expect a period of increased cooperation and balance because Libra is about balance and harmony, and it's in the sign of Venus. Venus rules Libra, so this is a good placement. And your personal relationships. You may find yourself marrying, someone well-known or professionally accomplished. You may receive positive recognition for your professional efforts. The desire for balance and harmony can lead to some indecisiveness, so be careful. You may find yourself placing too much importance on pleasing others at the expense of your own needs. Now be careful of that. So on the 14th, we have Pluto stationing direct, and this is happening in your 2nd house. Now when planets are in its retrograde, it's usually doing a lot of digging of the past, okay, and have you reflecting on and reviewing things that may no longer serve you or you didn't know was there. So Pluto in Aquarius is pulling all of this stuff up, and now that it's stationing direct, it's now time to let it go. Okay, and this is in your second house about finances, your self-worth, your possessions, and what you value. So this transit suggests a re-emergence of suppressed issues related to power, control, and hidden desires with great intensity and clarity. You may be forced to take a deep examination of your relationship with wealth and your sense of self-worth and rebuild it, okay? You may experience significant financial shifts that may lead to a big break in making wise, no, making wise financial decision making. You are encouraged to invest in yourself, and this is a time of reclaiming your personal power and self-determination, and take control over how you direct your power and own your dark side in relation to your values and wealth. Yeah, I don't know, my computer popped up something from Google Chrome, and anyway, I said no out loud, but I'm moving on. October 16th, the sun is in Libra, squaring Jupiter in Cancer. And this is affecting your 10th house of career and your 7th house of relationships. Again, we've already touched on that earlier with Mercury. So during this time, you may find yourself overextending or making commitments you can't fulfill. You have a strong focus on your career and public life, but it may cause you to neglect the emotional needs of your spouse, your business partners, or close connections. Okay, you may be seeking out ways to balance these energies at this time. Okay, on the 21st, we have the new moon in Libra as well. And this is happening in your 10th house. All right, so set your intentions on your career ambitions, your public image, and your professional goals here. Focus on creating balance and fairness in your professional life and relationships. Reflect on the balance between your career and your personal life and how to better integrate them, okay? Focus on improving communication and fairness in your professional relationships and collaborations. All right, so on the 23rd, we have Neptune retrograding back to 29 degrees of Pisces. And this is happening in your 3rd house. Now, Neptune is calling out your fear versus your intuition. When we deal with Mercury transits, we're going to deal with some confusion and the fog, okay? So with this fogginess, a lot of times we have to rely on our intuitive ability, because false evidence appearing real, which is fear, is going to try to manipulate us. And that's why, we have to create boundaries when we're dealing with Pisces and Neptune, and try to come in tune with your intuitive abilities. Try to strengthen that so that you can see the truth from the lie even better, in the fog. Okay, so let's get into this in your 3rd house of communication, siblings, your neighborhood, and your childhood friends, short trips, that type of thing, and early education. So this transit can bring inspiration, increased intuition, and greater empathy into your communication. All right. Be cautious of misunderstandings, vague conversations, and potential deception from others, as well as your own inability to see things clearly. Okay, make sure your boundaries with your siblings and friends are healthy. You may find yourself questioning your desires and dreams and seek what it is that you truly want in life. You may be able to speak from a place of emotional truth and compassion now. This is an opportunity to retreat, heal old wounds, and find clarity about your path forward. And again, Neptune is a spiritual, a deeply spiritual vibration. And it wants us what's best for us. But because of its deeply connected to source, it's hard for, you know, us to see what we really need to see when we are working through a transit with Neptune. Okay, so it's always a good time to sit with yourself when Neptune is, making some type of move, and just ground yourself to the planet. Okay? All right, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is the Sun in Scorpio, and this is happening in your 11th house of groups, your memberships, and your friendship groups, your hopes and wishes. And it's in the sign of Scorpio, which is, another deeply intense energy. So this transit encourages you to be more involved in activities outside of work and home, fostering a desire to be a part of something larger than your immediate family or workplace. You may seek out new friends, become more involved in your existing social circles, or find yourself drawn to group events and community projects. Okay, well, that gets you out and about with other people, for the sometime in October. So, Capricorn Rising, this is your monthly forecast for October 2025. And until next time, bye for now. Uh-oh.